Welcome back to Speak True Sports. This is Bert. I've been gone for a while, but here we go back at it with March Madness. I couldn't miss this. My favorite event of the year, my favorite sports event of the year. And this time I decided to just have some fun. Just gonna lay out my bracket, go off gut feeling, some logic, some gut feeling. I'll mix them in, as we go. Just have fun and fill out a bracket, Just thought I'd do that. If you enjoy this, leave a like, subscribe if you feel inclined to. Let's kick this thing off, man. Let's start off with the South, which is going to be a little chalky for me. I feel like it's going to end up being a little chalky. I'm going to give it to Bama first, obviously. Maryland, West Virginia is going to be a heck of a game. I went back and forth on this for so long. I think Maryland's defense is just suffocating enough. Their press is just suffocating enough to stall West Virginia on offense, and that will give Maryland the opportunity to score back, and I think they'll take the game. San Diego State, Charleston, a lot of people are picking. This is actually the popular pick, is Charleston over San Diego State. Give me San Diego State. I think they're going to slow the pace down. Their defense is really, really good. Their offense is, coming along, but I think defense is good enough to get it done. UVA Furman, this is also a low-key upset pick. I could see it because Furman's offense is so the backdoor cuts they do are insane. However, I would be more inclined to pick these guys if they were in the second week. Like if the UVA Furman was in the second game of the week, I would probably pick Furman because they're going to be really hard to plan for if they win, right? The thing is, UVA is just so good right now defensively, and I think Tony Bennett's going to have a good game plan. I think he's going to be able to do it. Give me UVA. Creighton, NC State. I really want NC State to win this, but I'm going to pick Creighton because I just feel like they have so much talent on the roster. It would be a shame if they lost this game. There's just their starting five is one of the best in college basketball. And I don't know how. They're not they weren't super consistent or anything, but I don't know. They just have so much talent. I feel like I'm just gonna pick them, but I wouldn't be surprised if NC State won this. Baylor, Santa Barbara. This is another coin toss, low key. Santa Barbara is really, really good. They play with a lot of tempo. Some stats here. I'm gonna give it to Baylor. I think Baylor can at least pull off one victory in the week. Missouri versus Utah State. A lot of people are picking Utah State as their upset pick here. I'm going to stick with Missouri. I think their defense is good enough to hold up and stall Utah State enough for them to, move on. The thing with picking teams that shoot really well in the tournament is they could always go cold. And the second they go cold, sometimes some of those teams just collapse, right? So I'm going to go with Missouri because of that. Arizona, Princeton. I really like Princeton, but Arizona, yeah, I mean, they're 2 seed for a reason, right? Purdue versus Texas Southern or FDU. The game hasn't been played yet for me. I'm going to go Purdue, though. Either way, Edie is really good. They have good shooting guards around him, so I think, it's going to work out. This is a really, really tough game. There's a lot of people who are picking FAU, and if FAU was against anybody else, I would strongly consider picking them as well. The thing is, they're going to be playing 4 guards, so they're going to be heavily undersized. Memphis has a lot of length and a lot of height. I think they're going to take FAU. Duke, Oral Roberts. This is okay. 90% of the time, Duke wins this game. 90% of the time. The only way I think Oral Roberts has a chance is if, one, they play zone, which they need to do because if they play man, their big man's getting cooked. He's really tall, but laterally he's a little bit slow, okay? If they play man, he's getting cooked. Oral Roberts needs to play zone and slow down the game to a grinding halt. I think that's the only chance Oral Roberts has. But it is March. I'm going to make some stupid and risky picks. I might as well go Oral Roberts. Okay, I just have a good feeling about him. Realistically, Duke would probably win, and if I make a second bracket, if I were to make a second bracket, I would have Duke winning here, and I'd have them going into here or potentially here. But I'll talk about them more at the end. Tennessee, Louisiana. A lot of people are picking Louisiana. I'm not really that sold. I think Tennessee's good enough, even without their point guard, to at least win one game. So respect to Tennessee. Kentucky, Providence. Look, I'm a Kentucky fan, so I'm just going to give my bias right here. There's just no way Coach Cal's going to lose. Like, if he loses this game, dude, his job is going to be on the line. Like, he's going to be in serious contention to be fired. There's no way he's just going to... There's just no way. Like, I refuse to believe it. Like, if Providence wins this game, it would be kind of a great story because, Bryce Hopkins gets his revenge. But I don't know. Whenever you want Kentucky to do something, they do the opposite. at least like 2020's Kentucky, right? The 2020 teams. Everyone expected them to win in all the other first round matchups, and they lost. This one, a lot of people are picking the upset, so I think they're gonna, squash the haters on that, and they're gonna win their first round matchup. Kentucky State, Montana State. Here we go. We're getting crazy here because give me Montana State. Raekwon Battle is him. I like the energy they play with. Will this happen realistically? I have no idea. I think this is one of the least picked upsets in the entire tournament right now. So do with that what you will. I'm going to take Montana State, though. I like their team. I like Raekwon Battle. I think they have a chance. I think they have a real chance. I just have a good feeling about them. I don't know what to say. Michigan State, USC. Don't doubt Tom Izzo. Okay, USC is the popular pick right now. Come on, man. Michigan State got shooters on shooters on shooters. Let Michigan State do it, bro. The 3 guards that they have all can shoot. And honestly, USC has great paint defense, but Michigan State's not going to be driving that much. Okay, they're going to be popping threes left and right. And Izzo's good enough to scheme something up that'll give them the win. Michigan State's always the bracket buster, man. No matter how bad they are, they end up doing something and just shocks the world, right? And everyone's like, oh, come on, dog. So I'm not going to down Michigan State this year. I'm just going to give them the win here. Marquette, Vermont. I love this Marquette team, dude. I'm going to talk about them a little bit more later. I love this Marquette team. I'll just leave it at that because I'll talk about them a little bit later. Midwest, Houston over Northern Kentucky. I wish Northern Kentucky was facing a different team or was seeded a little bit differently. Really wish that. Speaking of being seeded differently or facing different teams, who the heck put Duke and Oral Roberts against each other, man? Come on. At least space them out one. Like, literally switch Louisiana, Oral Roberts. Then I would pick Oral Roberts here, Duke here, then they meet here, and then it's an even better game. First round like this, it's just so... It sucks, because Oral Roberts has real Cinderella potential. But getting Duke, that's a horrible draw. There's so many teams that are like that. Like, they have Cinderella potential and just get a horrible draw in this year's tournament. Iowa, Auburn, give me Iowa. I like their size. I know they're not the most consistent. Actually, they're highly inconsistent. But I think they could do this. I think they pull it off against Auburn. I don't trust Auburn anymore, man. I just, I don't know. I don't like what they've done recently. They're on a slide, so I'm not gonna go with them. Miami Drake is so interesting because Miami has not great defense, and their big man, their center, is out probably for the game. And without him, the defense is even worse. So I don't know if they're going to be able to defend Drake, who likes to post up a lot. But at the same time, Miami plays with a crazy pace. I mean, you look back at that Duke game, they were saucing and crossing, and these guards are so fun to watch. I'm going to have to go Miami. I love Drake, and I don't know. Miami just so exciting and exhilarating. Like, I feel like they have an electrifying offense. I feel like they could really win this game. Indiana, Kent State. Indiana's a really good team, but they're highly inconsistent. You don't know what Indiana's showing up. Kent State is one of those teams where like they're kind of one of those like they're kind of set up to be a Cinderella where they have like a solid interior presence on defense, and they have shooters all around them. And for that reason, I'm going Kent State. Give me that team right there. Iowa State, Pitt. I'm going to go Iowa State. I just like their cohesive defense. They have a really cohesive defense between all their people. Their offense a little, but I don't think that'll affect them too much in round 1. We'll get to it later on, though. Xavier's going to beat Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State, I mean, what a story, but unfortunately, Xavier's offense is just really, really good. You wouldn't be able to tell if you watched the Marquette game because everyone at Xavier was just off, so off. But I think they're going to bounce back, and I think they're going to do good in this first round. PSU versus Texas A&M. Give me Penn State, man. They are so hot. They are on fire. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, but it's hard. It's so hard to bet against them. So hard to bet against them right now. They are one of the hottest teams in college football, college basketball, which, so is Duke. Okay, we've already talked about how bad the Oral Roberts Duke pick is, okay? But look, I'm doing it, okay? I'm trying to be a little different. Texas, Colgate. I think Colgate has a serious chance to upset. Texas, even though they did destroy Kansas in tournament play or in conference play, I'm still gonna go with them, but I'm still weary on Texas. I want to buy into them, but it's hard to. And Texas is a team that could easily lose first weekend, or they could make Final Four. Like, they're one of those type of teams, like in this tournament. But we'll get back to that later. Speaking of Kansas versus Howard. Congrats, Howard, for getting here, but Kansas is Kansas. Okay, they have, I think, the most quad 1 wins in the country. Arkansas, Illinois. Give me Arkansas. Arkansas is so talented. Both these teams are inconsistent, but Arkansas's talent is just so, their talent level is so high. I gotta believe it. I gotta believe in them. I gotta buy into it at some point, right? St. Mary, VCU. I want to pick VCU because their defense, I feel like, is going to give St. Mary some problems on offense, and VCU's just scorching hot right now. I really think they could do it. UConn, Iowa. This is another one of those things where I still can't decide. Like, I still can't, because once again, UConn's one of those teams that could lose this game right here, or they can make Final Four. Like, they are so wildly varied. I don't know. I have a good feeling about UConn, but I picked Iona before, so I'm going to go with Iona. I'm going to trust Rick Pitino. Whatever he's cooking up, I'm going to trust in him. So, is Iona really going to do this? I don't know. Probably not, but, it's nice. It's nice to pick. It's tough, man. A lot of these matchups are so tough because, like, you pick one thing wrong and that could affect the entire bracket, right? But this is just for fun, so it doesn't really matter. We're just having fun out here. TCU, I think, is going to beat Arizona State. I think who's going to... Okay, let me rephrase this. Arizona State is probably going to beat Nevada. I haven't seen this game yet. And I think TCU will beat Arizona State. I think they would also beat Nevada. So I think regardless, even if Nevada wins, I think TCU still moves on. Their defense is just really, really, really good. Gonzaga, GCU. I feel bad for GCU for getting this matchup, but, they had a great story, great run to get here, but, it's Gonzaga. They're not as good as years past, but they don't have the pressure of teams from years past. So it's like, there's some pros and cons. Northwestern, Boise. I wrestled with this one for a while, but Boise's, after I looked at Boise's defense, it's suffocating. It is suffocating. They are that good on defense. It is suffocating. UCLA, UNC Asheville. Give me UCLA in this one. All respect to UNC Asheville, but look, UCLA is one of the best teams in the country. So let's go back up for the second round. Bama, Maryland. I think this is going to be a better game than we would think, but I think Bama still takes it. San Diego State, UVA. Give me UVA on this one. I just like their offense a little better. Creighton, Baylor. Another upset. I'm going to go Creighton. Once again, both of these teams are a little inconsistent, Creighton especially, but I just think if they get hot, man, I think Baylor Scheinman could really, I think he could really come through, and win the day for him and take him to the Sweet 16. Missouri Arizona I think is also going to be closer than people expect. I like Missouri's defense, but Arizona's just so good and they're so talented. They're stacked. Like Purdue, Memphis. Look, this bracket's already a mess. Give me Memphis. Okay, this bracket is a mess. Give me Memphis. Let's go. Let's roll with it. Okay, I really like Memphis. I think they're one of the most slept-on teams. I wish they didn't have such tough draws, because there's a real-world possibility where they could lose this. They could lose this game. They could lose this game. If Duke makes it here, they could lose this game. If Marquette makes it here, they could lose this game. I mean, they have tough matchups everywhere, potentially, right? But that's not how my bracket's playing out right now. Right now, they just had 2 tough matchups. Now they're having a little break. I think Oral Roberts can take Tennessee, especially without Tennessee's point guard. I think this is where it's gonna hurt them, especially the second round. So that sets up Memphis versus Oral Roberts, Sweet 16. Heck of a Sweet 16, am I right? Kentucky, Montana State, dude. I know I'm a Kentucky fan, but I'm rocking with Montana State. I don't know what it is. I'm loopy off, no sleep. I just like Montana State. I feel like Montana State would give Kentucky a lot of fits. Like, I really do. Like, I think if Kentucky gets past Providence, I just think, I don't know. Montana State's physical. They play really physical. Sometimes Kentucky struggles with that. And Raekwon Battle versus Raekwon Battle versus Antonio Reeves is going to be a great battle. Like, if I really actually want this matchup to happen, because I want to see those two duke it out. I think it'll be really, really fun. But I'm going to go Montana State. Screw it. It's also insurance for if Kentucky loses earlier. So yeah, there we go with that. Okay, so as I've said, this bracket is a complete mess. I'm going to make it even more of a mess by picking Michigan State over Marquette. Listen to me, I have no clue why. I just have a feeling that Michigan State's going to be that bracket buster this year. They're going to shock the world by upsetting Marquette. Even though, genuinely, I think realistically, if you were making this thing, if I make a second bracket, which I will, I'm going to make a bunch of brackets just because, you never know. I would have Duke going here, at least getting to the Sweet 16, and I would also have Marquette. I would probably have Duke and Marquette meeting Elite 8, and I think most people probably have that. They either have Duke and Marquette or they have Purdue and Marquette. Totally understandable. My bracket's a freaking mess, though. And that's not how it's playing out here. And we're going to get to it in a little bit. But yeah, I just think if Michigan State gets hot, if they just stay hot, man, for this week right here, if they just stay hot, they could do it. They could pull off a miracle. Even though, like I said, I really, really like Marquette. I think their perimeter defense really, really stepped up. And honestly, if I did pick Marquette, I would probably have them in the Final Four. Like, if Marquette wins this game, I think they're guaranteed Final Four. But I have them losing, unfortunately, because it's March and anything could happen. Let's go up here. Houston, Iowa. Give me Houston. There's not much to say. Their defense is amazing. Their offense is amazing. They're just, they're great. Like, what else can you really say? Kent State, Miami. I think this is kind of where it hurts Miami to not have a big man, because I feel like Kent State's going to hurt them as they drive. I don't think they're going to be able to drive as well. And I think they're going to be able to, I think Kent State's going to be able to outshoot them and just be the hotter team at the right moment. So Kent State, Sweet 16, let's go. Iowa State, Xavier. I wanted to pick Iowa State, but I'm going to go Xavier. Their offense is just better. But at the same time, I would not be surprised. I really would not be surprised if Iowa State wins this game, because their defense is so good. And if they could score a little bit, maybe they have a chance to pull off like a Marquette-type upset. Like, they really could. Well, I guess the Marquette game wasn't an upset, but it was like, you didn't expect them to blow out Xavier. Penn State, Texas. Like I said, this bracket's screwed, bro. Give me Penn State. Let's go Penn State. I'm going to say they stay hot, and I'm going to say they keep rolling. Like I said, I like Texas, but there's just something in me that just doesn't trust them or doesn't like want to trust them. I'm just weary of Texas. I don't know how to feel about them. Kansas, Arkansas. This is another game where I think you could get away with picking Arkansas here. I really think you could. I'm going to pick Kansas because I've gone way too crazy everywhere else. But I think realistically, I don't think I would be upset at anybody picking either this game is an upset or this game is an upset. I think both of these games could work. I think at least one of these teams is going to win. One of these 8 seeds against these 1 seeds. I think at least one of them is going to win. And if I had to guess, it would be either Kansas, Arkansas, or Purdue, Memphis. Arkansas, like I said, has the talent. Can they put it all together, though, for multiple weeks in a row, or multiple days in a row, multiple games in a row? No clue. No clue. We'll find that out in a couple days. VCU, Iona. I mean, I guess I'll go VCU. I mean, it's tough. Like, this is I'll come back to that in a second. How about that? TCU Gonzaga is definitely going to be Gonzaga, I think. I know Gonzaga's defense isn't the best, and TCU is really good defense, so this could be an upset, but Gonzaga's just very experienced. I think Timmy will be good enough, and I think Gonzaga will squeak by. Boise State, UCLA, I wouldn't be surprised in an upset here either, but because Boise's defense is so good. But I'm going to go UCLA here still. I think most people have Gonzaga UCLA meeting here, which could be dangerous. If most people have it, it's probably not going to happen. But you never know. Okay. Getting back to VCU Iona. Let me pull up the stats from these guys real quick. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to go VCU. Screw it. Whatever, I'm going VCU. Whoever wins this game is going to lose to Kansas anyways. I might as well pencil that in right now. And I guess while we're here, Gonzaga, UCLA. I'll get back to it. Okay. Bama, UVA, Bama. UVA is good, but they're not beating Bama good. Okay. Creighton, Arizona. Creighton's good, but they're not beating Arizona good. Okay. Arizona's big show shouldn't be too much for them. Memphis, Oral Roberts. I love Oral Roberts, but this is where it comes to an end. Memphis finally ends the run here. Montana State, Michigan State. Okay. Hear me out, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, give me Montana State. God, this bracket is horrible. Okay. Well, I don't know. I just feel like if these two match up for some reason, I feel like Montana State would win. I don't know why. I don't know. You know what? Realistically, this wouldn't even be a matchup, okay? If I was going to say realistically. But, my brain is telling me Michigan State. But my heart wants Montana State to get here. God, this is going to be horrible. I'm going to lose so badly in the bracket challenges against my friends. Okay, let's go back up here. Houston, Kent State. I'm going to go Houston here. Houston's just so freaking good. Xavier, Penn State. I'm going to go Xavier. I think they could do enough. I think Penn State finally cools off, and we end up with this. Although I really wouldn't be surprised if Penn State did it either. I don't know. If they're going to beat Texas, they could probably beat Xavier, but I'm going to say they get cold for a little bit. Xavier swoops in at the last second and takes the W. We did Kansas, VCU already. Gonzaga, UCLA. I don't know, man. This is such a tough matchup, but I think the guard play of UCLA is just better. So I'm going to go UCLA there. All right. Elite 8 time. Bama, Arizona. I'm going to come back to this because that is a tough. Memphis, Montana State. Come on, I'm picking Memphis. There's no way, okay? Come on. There's just no way. Okay, Montana State's not making Final Four. Okay, relax. I'm telling myself to relax. Houston, Xavier. Going Houston. I just really like Houston this year, man. I really like Houston. Kansas, UCLA. I'm going to go Kansas. I know everyone's kind of picking Kansas to get upset because they lost that Texas game, which was kind of a really bad loss, but I'm going to be honest. I don't think UCLA is going to be like a serious threat to Kansas. I think it's going to be a good game, but it's like, I don't know. I think Kansas is so well rounded all around. I think they have a relatively simple path to the Final Four. Relatively simple. I think if Gonzaga was here, I think it would be a more challenging matchup for Kansas. And I also think that if UConn met up with Kansas, it would also be very challenging for Kansas. But the way this has worked out so far, Final Four is a 1 seed, and an 8 seed. And I'm gonna. This is such a tough matchup. Like, everyone. Also, this is another matchup where everyone has this as their matchup, so it's probably not gonna happen. But I think if it were to happen, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go Bama, because you know what? Montana State did pretty dang good against Arizona, and Bama's way better than Montana State. Okay. So yeah, we'll go with that. Bama, Memphis in the championship. Goodness gracious. Or in Final Four. Goodness gracious. Bama, Memphis, Houston, Kansas. This is going to be horrific. I'm definitely picking Houston to beat Kansas. I'm kind of hung up on Bama and Memphis. You know what? I'm just going to go Memphis. I've rode Memphis this far. I might as well finish it off, you know. But I don't think Memphis is going to win the rematch against Houston. Even though, dude, this would be such a good game. Oh my god, this would be such a great championship game. All their games have been so good to watch. Like, I know that it was like technically like a blowout, but like if it's a healthy Houston, like you saw that game winner that it ended on, oh, this could go either way. I'm gonna give it to Houston. I'm gonna hide my tiebreaker so that if you copy my bracket exactly, which you'd be an idiot to do so, but if you did it, you won't be able to know. Okay, I'll give the winning score. That will be 76. Okay. Thank you all for watching. The worst bracket of all time. We're here to have fun, man. We're just here to have fun. Okay, this is look, literal toddlers could fill out stuff that would beat seasoned pros and people who watch college basketball on the regular. Literally, toddlers could beat them. Okay. This is all luck. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. This is basically all luck, and with a little bit of knowledge. Okay. But yeah. Well, thank you all for watching. This has been Bert. This has been Speak Truth Sports, and I will catch you guys next time, whenever that is. It will probably be like a draft video or something. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night, people.